Hello student, in this video we will see this chapter, that is carbon and its compounds. This is very important chapter because carbon is very important element in the living things. Okay, so this carbon is present in the earth crust. Most of the element are present in the earth crust. So this carbon is also present in the earth crust, but in very small amount, that is about 0.032%. Carbon is present in the earth crust. So this is very small amount, but this carbon is present in large amount in the living things. In living things like plants and animal and other organisms also, carbon is very important constituent of their body, plants and animals. Now this carbon has very vast uses. So in this chapter we will study the different forms of carbon, then we will study their properties and their uses. So this is very important chapter. Now why it is important? Because carbon is very main constituent, very important constituent of the plants and animals. We don't have to study the constituent of this plant and animal in this topic, that is carbon, but we will study only the forms of carbon, various forms of carbon. Okay, so first we will study the occurrence of carbon. So as I told, in the earth crust only 0.032% of the carbon is present in the earth crust, but it is very important to constitute an important part of the living things. Now the occurrence of the carbon is present in the free state as well as in the combined state. Now what is the meaning of this word free state and combined state? Free state means what? The carbon, the symbol of carbon is C. The carbon is present in the free state, means it does not combine with any other element, like it does not combine with hydrogen, oxygen or any other element. It is solely present as a carbon only. Okay, and what are the examples of the substances in which carbon is present in the free state? The very first example is graphite, then diamond, graphite, diamond, all of you know, then coal also okay. So these three forms are, the three substances consist of only carbon and there is no second element present in them. Okay, so this graphite, diamond and coal we will study again further in this chapter. Okay, so we are going to study detail about these three substances. Okay, so these are the three forms of the carbon which are present in the free state. Then next, in combined state, now this carbon is present in large amount in the combined state, such as the carbon, as I told, carbon is present in plant and animals, but in which form the carbon is present in plant and animal? So it is present in the form of carbohydrates. All of you know this, you have studied it in biology. Carbohydrates are present in our body, animal body, plant body, correct? Then proteins, correct? Carbohydrate, proteins, fats, vitamins. Okay, so in these substances, okay, in these biomolecules the carbon is present. This is the first. Then this is about the living things, that means these substances are present in plant and animal. Then if I talk about the hydrocarbons means what? The compounds which are made from carbon and hydrogen. What is the meaning of this word? Compounds which are made from carbon and hydrogen. Hydrocarbons are present in the earth crust, okay, in the form of crude oil. Okay, crude oil, all of you know crude oil. From this crude oil various petroleum products are obtained, like petrol, diesel, LPG, kerosene, and there are so many products. Okay, so these products are obtained from the crude oil, and this crude oil consists of carbon and hydrogen. Okay, this crude oil only consists of carbon and hydrogen, therefore crude oil is nothing but a hydrocarbon. Okay, and the large constituent in this crude oil is of carbon. Okay, so carbon here combined with the hydrogen. Okay, so this is a combined state of the carbon, that means carbon is combined with the hydrogen. Okay, then carbon is also present in some of the minerals, such as all of you know limestone, all of you know. Then marble is also a mineral, marble, or we call it as a chalk, that is marble is nothing but a calcium carbonate. Okay, then magnesite is one ore. Its formula is magnesium MgCO3, that is it is nothing but a magnesium carbonate. Okay, so there are so many minerals in which carbon is present. So look at here, carbon is present. Okay, then carbon is present in the carbon dioxide, all of you know. And where is the carbon dioxide present? Carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, correct? So carbon dioxide is made from the carbon and oxygen, so carbon is also present here. Then the CO2 gas is soluble in the water, so therefore in the natural water, that is in the oceans, in the river, in the lake, the water consists of carbon dioxide dissolved in it. Okay, and you know, when carbon dioxide dissolves in water, it forms a carbonic acid, so there also carbon is present. Okay, then this is the very short introduction about the combined state of the carbon and free state of the carbon. Okay, then we will study the very important part of this chapter, that is allotropes. Allotropes of carbon. Now what is mean by this word allotrope? So first we will understand the meaning of this word allotrope. So what is allotrope? Allotrope is nothing but a different forms of same element. Different forms of the same element means what? Just now I told here that carbon is present in graphite and diamond. Okay, so graphite and diamond are, what I told, these two substances are solely, they are solely made from only and only carbon. Okay, so this carbon is present in the nature in the two forms, that is graphite and diamond. One more is there, fullerene. Okay, that we will study later. So carbon is present in the form of graphite and diamond. So these are what? These are the two different forms of the carbon. Okay, and the different forms of the same element are known as allotropes. Okay, so graphite and diamond, we can say graphite and diamond are the two allotropes of what? Of carbon. Okay, fullerene also one form of a carbon. So graphite, diamond, fullerene, and recently fourth allotrope of carbon is also discovered. Its name is graphene. Okay, but it is not included in the books. So there are four forms of carbons actually: graphite, diamond, graphene, and fullerene. Okay, the three forms we will study. This is not there in our study. Okay, so graphite, diamond, graphene, and fullerene, these are the four allotropes of carbon. Okay, so we will study now in detail. First we will study diamond, then graphite, and then we will study fullerene. Okay. Okay, before studying the actual forms of carbon, that is diamond, let us see the two terms I want you to understand. Solid. Every solid, that means the solid, is divided into two types. The first is crystalline solid and second is amorphous solid. Okay, there are two types of solid present in the nature, that is first is crystalline and second is amorphous. Now what is mean by this? I think I already told you. Crystalline means what? you know, suppose we take any solid, okay, and that solid is made from what? That solid is made from small particle, okay. So in case of crystalline solid, the each particle of the of that solid is of same size and shape, okay. That shape may be anything, it may be square, it may be triangular, it may be anything, but each particle of that solid is of same size and shape, then it is called as a, it is known as a crystalline solid. And in case of amorphous, each particle is of different size and shape, okay. The size may be like this, okay. So in case of amorphous, each particle of that solid is not of the same size and shape, it is known as a amorphous, okay. Now in case of carbon, in case of carbon, there are two forms of that carbon. uh, Carbon is present in the crystalline form as well as carbon is present in the amorphous form also. So what are the examples of crystalline forms of carbon? So I already told you the diamond, okay, then graphite, diamond, graphite and fullerene. These are the three crystalline forms of the carbon, okay. And which are the amorphous forms of the carbon? Like coal, okay, coal, okay, then charcoal. Now there are various types of charcoal that we will study in the next topic. Charcoal, wood charcoal, sugar charcoal, there are various types of charcoal, okay. So coal and charcoal, these are the two amorphous form of the carbon. You have seen this coal, all of you have seen. So coal is, if you make a powder of that coal, it is very soft powder and very fine particles are made, okay. So that is a amorphous forms of a carbon, okay. So this is very important because in a higher grade you will study again this topic, crystalline and amorphous. So first we will study now the diamond, okay. Now all of you know diamond is made from only and only carbon element, no second element is present in the carbon. Now how this carbon is made? You know, diamond is a naturally occurring substance, okay. It is not a man-made substance, but it is a naturally occurring substance. And where it is found? In the coal mines. All of you know mines, okay. In coal mines this diamond is formed, you know, uh, under the earth crust, okay. Below the earth crust the coal is present, okay, coal is present, and this coal is made by the natural process. All of you know that thousands of years ago many organic matter is many organic matter goes down the earth, okay. Then due to the high pressure and high temperature this coal is produced. But when this coal is produced, this naturally occurring diamond is also produced inside this coal mine, okay. So diamond is found in the coal mines. Now diamond, all of you have seen diamond have different colors. One diamond, all of you know, that is colorless, that is uh, the diamond which is used in jewelry. But there are different types of colors of the diamonds are also present. That color, why this color is appear? Because of the impurities present in it, metallic impurities. What I told, diamond is only made from the carbon, but if any metal is present in it, okay, suppose manganese is present, then it becomes pink in color, okay. So if metallic impurity is present, then it becomes colored diamond, okay. And you know, diamond is also made artificially nowadays. Diamond can be made artificially nowadays, okay. Now how this, I told how this diamond is formed. This diamond is formed deep inside the earth under the, due to the extreme heat and pressure. Now what is the structure? This is the important part. Structure of diamond, because we know now carbon diamond is made from the carbon, but actually what is the structure of this diamond? So as I told, diamond is made from the carbon. Now you know carbon has electronic configuration 2 and 4. Okay, now what is the valency of this carbon? The valency of the carbon is 4. That means, what is mean by valency? Valency means how many bond can any element form. So carbon valency is 4, therefore it can form 4 bonds. Now when carbon forms a 4 bond, it forms a structure like this. Okay, so in this structure, if you count, so these are what? These are a covalent bond. These are the covalent bond, and these bond again form with the carbon only, because diamond consists of only carbon, no other element is present. Okay, so carbon has 4 valency, so this carbon, that is this carbon, has formed the 4 bonds with another 4 carbon, and this line means what? This line means nothing but a chemical bond is there, covalent bond is there. We already studied this covalent bond. This bond is formed by the sharing of electron. Now this structure is called as a tetrahedron. Now what is this tetrahedron? Tetrahedron is a special geometrical shape. Now if you count the bond angle, between any two bond, it will be exactly 109 degree and 28 minutes. Okay, each bond angle, this bond angle, this bond angle, this bond angle, and also this bond angle will be 109.28 degrees. So remember this, you have to study it in higher grades. So this is known as a tetrahedron. Okay, actually on the paper it looks like how it will be possible 109.28 degree, but actually it is a 3-dimensional structure that you will study later on. So what is the structure of diamond we are discussing? So this is a carbon. So these are what? This is the central carbon atom. This is the central carbon atom, and these are the 4 carbon. Now these carbon again form 4 bond, because each carbon can form how many bond? 4 bond. So each carbon forms again 4 bond. With whom it will form a 4 bond? Again with the carbon, because no other element is present. Okay, so this is the structure of carbon. So in the textbook a figure is given, so you can look that figure also, but this is the structure. Now this chain goes on continuing, so this carbon will again form 4 bond, this will again form 4 bond, each carbon will again form a 4 bond. Okay, and due to this structure, the diamond becomes very hard substance, because of this special kind of structure. And we know that diamond is the hardest substance in the world. Diamond is the hardest substance in the world. It is very difficult to break a diamond. Okay, now why it is hard? The question will be asked in the exam. Why diamond is hard? Because of this kind of structure. Okay, now this is very symmetrical structure. Why it is symmetrical? Because each bond angle between the two bonds of the carbon is 109.28 degree. So because of this tetrahedron geometry, this substance, that is diamond, becomes the world's hardest substance. Okay, so actually it is a 3-dimensional structure. So on the paper it looks like a 2-dimensional, but actually it is a 3-dimensional structure. Okay, so this is the structure of a diamond. Okay, now we will study now the properties of diamond. All of you know the properties. So first important property is nature. Nature means what? It is a diamond is present in the form of it is a purest form of carbon, and it is present in the solid state. Okay, purest form of the carbon, and it is found in the solid state. Then second, appearance. All of you have seen the diamond. Okay, so how it appear? Its appearance is shiny. You know, when light when a light falls on the diamond. Okay, suppose this is a diamond. So this is a diamond. When a light falls on this diamond, this light get dispersed. Okay, and therefore it looks shiny in nature. Okay, then third property is density. Now diamond has very high density of about 3.5 gram per centimeter cube. So this is very high density. Okay, then next is electrical conductivity. This is very important property, electrical conductivity. So remember, diamond is non-conductor of electricity. Diamond is non-conductor of electricity, whereas the second form of the carbon, that is this, that is graphite, is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, so these are the properties, important properties I told. One more important property is the melting point. Now this is very important property. As I told, the diamond is hardest substance in the world, so its melting point is 3930 degrees Celsius. So this is very very high temperature. Okay, this is a important property. Then effect of heat. Now when if this diamond, so diamond is made from what? Carbon. So if this diamond is heated in the air, and you know, in the air what is present? Oxygen is present. Okay, then what it will produce? Carbon dioxide will be produced. Okay, and how much at how much temperature you have to heat it? Up to 700 or 800 degrees Celsius. Then only this diamond can combine with the oxygen and forms a carbon dioxide. And if it is heated above 1500 degrees Celsius, but in the absence of oxygen, without oxygen, if it is heated at above 1500 degrees Celsius, this diamond, very interesting to know that this diamond is converted into graphite. That is the second allotrope. This is the second allotrope of the carbon. Okay, so this is the effect of heat. Okay, and last property, that is chemical reactivity. It is chemically unreactive. It is unreactive. It does not react easily. Okay, and unaffected. And it is even unaffected by the acid as well as alkalis also at ordinary condition. But of course, if you give the temperature to 700 and 800 degrees Celsius, and if you add any acid or base, it will react. Definitely it will react, but normal condition, the diamond is unreactive in nature. Okay. The next topic is uses of diamond. This is very important. The first use, of course, all of you know that the first use is in jewelry. Diamond you have seen in the jewelry. So why it is used in the jewelry? Because you know, diamond has very shiny nature. It looks very beautiful when the light falls on it. So therefore it is used in the jewelry. Then it is also used in the surgery, medical surgery. It is also used there. Where it is used? In the cataract operations. Cataract means what? It is a operation of our eyes, especially in the older peoples. The white colored ball appears in their eyes. Okay, then we have to remove that. That is called as a cataract operation. So it is used in this diamond. That is, diamond is used in the cutting tools. So the doctors which uses the cutting tools, that cutting tools are made from the diamond. Okay, and that is used in the cataract operations. Okay, then next use of the diamond is in the industries. Now, what is the use of diamond in the industry? You know that diamond is the hardest substance of the world, correct? So therefore, it is used to make a cutting tools, which are used for cutting the metals. Okay, then it is also used in the drilling tools. Drilling tools means the drilling tools which are used to drill the rocks. And why rocks are drilled? Because when rocks are drilled, it gives the crude oil. It gives the crude oil under the earth crust. Therefore, we have to drill the rocks, and to make these drilling tools, diamond is used, because you know the rocks are very hard. They are very hard, and it is very difficult to break these rocks. So we have to use the drilling tools which are very hard in nature. So these drilling tools are made from the diamond. Okay, so you might be thinking that if diamond is used in making these cutting tools, drilling tools, okay, but not the diamond which are used in jewelry. The diamonds which is used in jewelry, that diamond is not used here. The different kind of diamond is used here. Okay, so remember that. So these are the uses of diamond. Only 3 uses are there. The next form of the carbon that we have to discuss, second allotrope of the carbon is graphite. As I told, this graphite is very important allotrope of the carbon. Where you have seen this graphite? The lead of the pencil. The pencil which you used for writing and drawing, the lead of that pencil is made from this graphite. Okay, so first, all of you have seen this graphite and used it. If you touch that graphite, it is slippery in nature, correct? It is slippery in nature, and I will tell why it is slippery. Okay, then it is very soft. It can be easily broken, correct? It can be easily broken. So it is soft and slippery in nature. And what is its color? Gray. Its color is grayish black, correct? So this is the graphite, and we will study now the structure of the graphite. Now this structure is very interesting, and in this structure we will study why this is slippery in nature. So graphite is allotrope of carbon. As it is allotrope of carbon, it is made from the carbon. So you know, carbon valency is 4. So the structure of graphite is like this. So here in this case, this is a 6-membered carbon ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 membered carbon ring is there. Now each carbon here will form a 4 bonds. How it will form a 4 bonds? So this ring will be continued. Okay, so each carbon is present in the ring. Okay, so this carbon will also form a ring here. Okay, and this ring goes on continuing. Okay, now this is the first layer. Below this layer again a second layer is present, and this second layer is exactly like this first layer. So look at it. So to draw this figure is also very easy. So second layer is exact replica of the first layer. Okay, okay, so this is the first layer, this is the second layer. Now between this first layer and second layer, the very weak forces are present there. Weak kind of forces are present. Okay, and due to these weak forces, such kind of weak forces are present between carbon. So if you look at this carbon, if you look at each carbon has 4 bonds. each carbon has formed 3 bond here. So this is first, this is second, and this is third. This carbon, look at this carbon, 1 2 3, this carbon 1 2 3. Okay, so here you are seeing 1 and 2 only, but actually on this carbon also one more layer is there. Okay, one more ring is there, but due to lack of space we have not drawn here. Okay, so each carbon here forms a bond. So now here it becomes a 4 bond. Look at here. So this 1 2 3 and this one is a 4th bond, but this bond is stronger and this bond is weak. Okay, and now why the graphite is slippery? Because these two layers, this is the first layer and this is second layer, these two layers slide over with each other, okay, that means this layer can move little bit to this side, this layer can move little bit to this side, and due to this nature the graphite is slippery in nature. Okay, so this is the reason and very important to understand. I hope all of you have understood. Now this, carbon, I already shown you this carbon has 4 valence electron, correct? This 4 valence electron. Now each carbon has used 3 electrons for formation of this 3 bond, and the 4th electron is used to form this bond. But what I told, this bond is weak. That means the one electron is transferred from this layer to this layer, and from this layer to this layer, from first to second and from second to first layer, this electron can be transferred. And remember, I have shown here only 2 layers, but only 2 layers are not there. There are so many layers. Though there are so many layers, one above other. Okay, so I have shown only 2 layers. Okay, so electron from this layer can transfer to this layer from above, then from to the next layer. Okay, so that's why the one very important property of that graphite arises, that is conductivity. So previously I told that graphite is a good electrical conductor. Okay, now why it is electrical conductor? Because the one electron from this layer to this layer, and between multiple layer, this electron is transferred. Therefore it is a good conductor of electricity as well as heat. Okay, understood? So this is the structure of the graphite. Now as I told in the diamond, in case of diamond, each carbon has formed 4 bond, and kind of structure it is formed is a kind of shape it has formed is a tetrahedron, but there is no tetrahedron formed here. Okay, this is 2-dimensional structure, and diamond structure was 3-dimensional. Okay, this is 2-dimensional structure. It is a flat. This ring is a flat in nature. Okay, now we will study properties of graphite. So 2-3 properties I already told you. Appearance, how it looks, it is a grayish black in color. So first property is appearance, grayish black in color. Then second property, one more property, it is lustrous. It has a metallic luster. We have studied it in the what is meant by metallic luster. Luster means shiny nature. The graphite looks like a metals. It is a lustrous like a metal. Okay, then second property, nature. So what is the nature? It is soft in nature, soft and slippery. Soft and slippery in nature. Okay, then next property, as we have studied in diamond, density. So the density of graphite is 2.2 gram per centimeter cube, which is less than the diamond. So remember this point for the distinguishing. Okay, then next property is electrical and thermal conductivity. As I told, the graphite is good conductor of electricity and heat. Then melting point. The melting point of the graphite is 3700 degrees Celsius, which is slightly less than the diamond. Okay, and next property is effect of heat. So similarly, graphite is made from the carbon, when it is heated in the presence of air, that means in the presence of oxygen at 700 degrees Celsius, like diamond, it will also produce a carbon dioxide gas. Okay, and last property is chemical reactivity. As I told, in case of diamond, diamond does not easily react with any chemicals. Okay, so graphite is also not very much reactive with the chemicals, but it is more reactive than the diamond. It is slightly more reactive than the diamond. It can be converted. Okay, as I told, when diamond when diamond is heated above 1500 degrees Celsius, the diamond can be converted into graphite. Correct? Similarly, graphite can also be converted into diamond at very high temperature, and high pressure. Pressure is also required here. Okay, so these two forms are interconvertible with each other. Interconvertible means diamond can be converted into graphite and graphite can also be converted into the diamond. Okay, so these are the properties of the graphite. Then we will study what are the uses. What are the uses of this graphite? So there are very important uses of the graphite. So first use, I already told that it is used for making the pencils. Very important, pencils, because when you write with the pencils, it produces a dark mark on the paper. So therefore it is used in the pencils. Then second, in the manufacturing of electrodes. Now what is this electrode? In previous chapter I told electroplating. Okay, electroplating means what? Covering the surface of one metal with another metal. Like suppose this is the iron. And if we want to coat, if you want to cover the surface of this iron with the silver, correct, silver, then what will we use? We will use electroplating, or it is called as a process is called as a electrolysis. Okay, so in this electrolysis there are two electrodes used, that is cathode and anode. Okay, so this cathode and anode are called as electrodes. Okay, these electrodes are used in the electrolysis. What is done in electrolysis? The coating of one metal on the surface of another metal is done. Okay, so in this electrolysis, the electrode, that is cathode and anode, are made from this graphite. Then the third use is in the manufacturing of crucibles. Crucible means what? It looks like this. Crucible, it looks like this. And as we know, graphite is very good conductor of heat and as well as electricity, and it does not easily react with any other chemicals. So therefore the graphite is used for making this crucible. And where this crucible is used, suppose we want to melt the iron. Suppose we have one iron piece. Okay, if you want to melt it, you know, iron has very high melting point, it does not melt easily. So this iron is put in this crucible, and this crucible is heated. You know what is the melting point of graphite? The melting point of graphite is 3700 degrees Celsius. This is very high temperature. Okay, so this graphite is not affected by the heat up to this temperature. Okay, and iron, if you want to melt it, it will melt around 2000 degrees Celsius. Okay, not exactly 2000, but around this temperature. So if you want to melt the iron, we have to take one such a crucible which will withstand, which will not break up to the 2000 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this crucible is made from the graphite. The next use, in the manufacturing of lubricants. Lubricants means what? suppose in the vehicle, suppose two-wheeler or four-wheeler, in the engine of that, in the engines of that vehicles, one oil is added. That oil is called as a lubricant oil. What that oil do in that engine? You know, in the engine various parts are there, and these parts undergoes the friction with each other. Okay, so to avoid that friction, this oil is used, that is lubricant oil is used. This lubricant may be of paste, in the form of paste, or in the form of oil. Okay, you know, to paste is also used in the machine parts, outer part, but oil is used in the inner part of the machine. Okay, then next, use in the nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactor means what? Where the nuclear reactions are occurred. Nuclear reactions nuclear reactions are used. What is the use of graphite there? Graphite is used as a moderator. Graphite is used as a moderator in the nuclear reactor. Now, why these nuclear reactions are done? What is the use of this nuclear reactor? This nuclear reactor are used for the manufacturing of electricity. Okay. And the last use of the graphite is, it is used in the manufacturing of black paints and printer ink. Printer, all of you know printers. Printer ink are also manufactured from the graphite. Okay, because you know graphite, the color of the graphite is grayish black in color. Okay, therefore it is used in the black color paint and printer ink. In the paint, why it is used in the paint? You know, graphite does not affected by any chemicals, therefore it is used in the paint. Okay, so this is about the graphite. And the last form of the carbon that we have to study is the fullerene. The third allotrope of the carbon is fullerene. Okay, now this fullerene is very interesting compound. Let me tell you one story of this fullerene. This fullerene is actually one architect was there. The name of that architect was Buckminster Fuller. The name of that architect was Buckminster Fuller. He was an architect and he has made one structure. I think in the Switzerland. He is from the Switzerland. I don't remember exactly. But he has made one structure, very big structure, very big dome-like structure. All of you know the dome-like structure he has made. Okay. Later, after he has made this structure, in the year 1985, in the year 1985, the three scientists, that is Kroto, the name of these three scientists, Kroto, then Kern and Smalley. These are the three scientists who has discovered one compound of which is made from the carbon. Okay, and later for their discovery, these three scientists have given a Nobel Prize in the year 1996. Nobel Prize for this discovery. Okay. Now what these three scientists has found, that the compound which is made from this carbon, the compound which these three scientists has made, exactly look like this dome which the Buckminster Fuller has made. Okay, so isn't this interesting? So these three scientists made a compound which is made from the carbon. That compound exactly looks like this dome which was made by Buckminster Fuller before 1985. Okay, so therefore these three scientists has given the name to this compound as a fullerene, because the name of that architect was Fuller. Okay, so they have given the name to this compound fullerene. Understood from where this word come? Fullerene is the actually the name of that architect. Okay, so fullerene is the form of carbon, allotrope of the carbon, so it is made from only and only carbon. But there are various types of fullerene. So one compound of fullerene may consist of uh, 50 carbon, it may consist 70 carbon, it may consist even 32 carbon, and so on up to the 900. Some of the compounds of the fullerene consist of 900 carbon in it, but the very famous compound of the fullerene is C60. It is written like this, C60. That means how many carbons are present? 60 carbons are there, and it looks like a football. Okay, it looks like a football, its structure is like football. So the dome which fullerene has made is like this. So as this dome is made on the ground, so lower part is, so here actually ground is present, but the complete structure of fullerene is like this. So just a minute, so it exactly looks like a football, so therefore perfect sphere is there, and in this sphere some of the rings are 5 membered and some of the rings are 6 membered. Okay, so let me draw this in bigger. So actually these are the carbon, so 5 membered carbon ring is there, and near this 5 membered 6 membered carbon rings are there. Okay, so the structure is like this. Correct, all of you have seen the football, so football is also like this. So diagram is not much that of perfect. Okay, so in this fullerene, in this C60 fullerene, how many pentagonal rings are there? 5 membered rings are 12. Okay, and hexagonal rings are 20. Okay, that means 12 are pentagonal faces and 20 are the hexagonal faces. Okay, so that's how 60 carbons are present. Okay, so this is the structure of the fullerene, and again it is not a conductor of heat and electricity like graphite, like diamond. Graphite is good conductor of heat and electricity, but it is not a conductor. Okay, what are the properties? It is a crystalline solid, as I told, it is crystalline solid. Then fullerene is soluble actually, it is soluble in many solvents. So this is very important property of the solvent, and that's why nowadays this fullerene is also used in the medicines also. Okay, third property, some of the fullerene acts as a superconductor at high temperature. So this is also very important property. It acts as a superconductor. Superconductor means what? Which conducts the electricity or heat with very high speed, but it is a superconductor at high temperature only, not at the normal temperature. Okay, so what are the uses of fullerene? So some of the compounds of fullerene are good conductor, as I told. This is actually bad conductor, but some of the compounds of fullerene are good conductor of electricity and heat, therefore it is used in the electronic devices. It is used in the electronic devices. Then second use, it is used, as I told, this fullerene is also used in the medicines. So it is used in the medicine for the treatment of cancer and AIDS. So for the treatment of these two diseases, the medicine which are used, in that medicine this fullerene is used. And the third, they are also used as a lubricants. As I told in the graphite, this fullerene is also used in the lubricants. Okay, So this is about the three different forms of the carbon. We have seen three forms of this carbon, that is first is diamond, then graphite, and the fullerene. Very important forms are there. Now in the second part of this chapter, the second part of this video, we will study about the amorphous form of the carbon. These three forms, that is these three allotrope which we have seen, diamond, graphite, and fullerene, are the crystalline form. Now we will study the amorphous form in the next part. Okay, goodbye.